Thank you, everyone. I would like to welcome everybody very cordially to this conference that we had the pleasure to convene together with Carolyn. Thank you, Castello de Rivoli. Thank you, Carolyn, for making my dream come true to work on this very important subject for my practice, for my artistic work. I would like to also thank everybody who came from all over the world to participate and contribute, and thank you to everybody who's listening online and who's present here. What we're presenting here in the background is my work entitled Conversions, a series of works which were presented here as part of my solo exhibition at Castello di Rivoli, which started in 2021, and a fragment of it can still be seen at Castello. One room, one work, not this one, but a different one. Conversions is a very good background for a couple of questions that I've been pondering, thinking about this conference and thinking about whom to invite and how to contribute to this subject. I have been thinking about a question of energy as obviously powering life and making everything in the world move, and at the same time energy as a currency. And in particular, I was interested in the fact that today the contemporary political economy could be described in a way as a total cybernetics, because it's based on perpetual transformations of energy as a currency into information and into capital. And meanwhile, social energies, so the way that people express their feelings and emotions around the globe, are mined by corporations like Meta, like Amazon, like Google, Alphabet. These energies are mined just like oil, I mean, on a par with oil and gas, with algorithms, with artificial intelligence. And so in a way, we could say that social energies became part of the global energy market. And it became really interesting for me that the digital capitalism, the economy of digital capitalism, made a couple of concepts that were earlier developed in human thought as a hypothesis, as a fantasy, as a theory of alchemy, for example, or many scientists or experimenters. Some of these theories were to some degree realized or are being challenged in digital capitalism. And one of the kind of dreams of humanity since antiquity has been the possibility of construction of a perpetual motion machine. So a device that would produce energy, free energy, unlimited free energy. And the concepts, the thermodynamics, the second law of thermodynamics clearly proves that this is something impossible. And it has been proved by many scientists over time. However, people kept over centuries trying to invent this device. And today we're coming to a situation with cryptocurrencies, for example, and with mining of social energies, where there is an interesting continuity of this discourse around perpetual motion machine and free energy. Because in order to power computers, in order to power server farms, and to use artificial intelligence and very soon also quantum computing, we mostly need energy to power these computers. And now with production of cryptocurrencies, the use of energy, the cheapest possible energy, has been really important because cryptocurrencies are based on production of a use of energy to create value using computers. And of course, minerals that are extracted in various mines are very important for the functioning of computers. So there is hidden labor in this. There's slave labor of people working in Asia or in Africa, mining these rare earth minerals. But at the same time, energy became really important, and this race for the cheapest energy sources has involved different cryptocurrency farms, for example, moved to Venezuela or later to China, using decommissioned water dams and hydroelectric plants to power the computers. China has famously banned the mining of cryptocurrencies a couple of years ago because of its entanglement with the energy industry that became really problematic. Obviously today there is questions of how are we going to power the AI industry, the computers, the quantum computers. So I've been thinking about this, and so this series of works, Conversions, is based on using artificial intelligence algorithms that I used collaborating with computer scientists, to mine how people around the globe are expressing their feelings and emotions of protest, for example, and desire to change the world, how they are posting about the ideas of changing the world and protesting against things that they don't like and would like to change. So we were monitoring with algorithms various social media feeds of millions of people around the globe, and the result of this monitoring and harvesting was sentiment analysis algorithms with artificial intelligence. It was aggregated, and then these aggregated results are powering each of these paintings. The paintings are executed with liquid crystal paint, and as you may be familiar with liquid crystals, they are used in LCD screens and or your computer screens, TV screens. But I worked with a physicist and cosmologist, Malcolm Fairbairn from London, from University College London, and we have used this pigments that include particles of liquid crystals that are changing and transforming. So what we're doing, what I'm doing here in these paintings is essentially collecting social energies of how people express their emotions and feelings around the globe about changing the world, and then these energies are converted into electrical and thermal energy, and this is causing changes, physical changes in the painting. As you can see, it's here on loop in real time, and they are subtle, but they are happening constantly. So these paintings are alive, and they are reacting to the collective footprint, collective social capital, and people collectively trying to change the world. And things that were really important for me, thinking about this work and also this conference, questions of energy as a currency. They are related to a long history of thought around this subject, which, for example, already in the 1870s, there was a sociologist, Ukrainian sociologist, Sergei Podolinsky, who was trying to persuade Marx and Engels that energy is a better principle of value than embodied labor. And this concept has later inspired a lot of thinkers, and then there was a whole movement that proposed this idea of energy as a better, more constant, more constant principle of value than labor. So this whole movement was called energetics and then neo-energetics. And what is interesting for me is that we are currently, with digital capitalism, revisiting a lot of these ideas. Another thought that I wanted to share with you is related to the questions of how energy that I'm exploring in my work through the notion of collective intelligence, which most of my work relates to. So how everything in the world, we could say, is a product of collective intelligence, from the ways of like how minerals, geological formations are formed through coming together of molecules, of particles, through weather phenomena, through collective behavior of animals, bacterial colonies, viruses, to obviously phenomena happening in human societies, languages, writing systems, tools, social movements, civilizations, and so on. And I've been exploring it throughout my work, and of course conversions are also an expression of collective intelligence, and thinking about how in the future art maybe will be made collectively, kind of in an analogy to how Wikipedia as a system of knowledge production is a product of a collective intelligence with many contributors. So thinking about energy, I have thought a lot about questions of utility grid, which is to me a symbol of social ties. It is a form of a commons. And today we are experiencing very, this phenomenon that I'm about to talk about, for me kind of epitomizes the complexity of the energy problem today. So this phenomenon is called the utility death spiral, or utility grid death spiral, and this paradox that the utility grid, which is responsible for distributing electrical energy to individual energy consumers around the world, this utility grid, which is supposed to be a commons, although some utility grids are private, but it is something that we, now should have access to. Now that many people are trying to use, for example, solar batteries or wind farms and so on, the people who are buying solar batteries are opting out from this utility grid because they are trying to produce clean energy. And of course, it's a good thing, but the complexity of this situation is that the use of this individual solar batteries is causing of all these people no longer participating in payments into the utility grid. So the utility companies or countries that distribute energy get less money from energy consumers. And as a result, the prices of energy of the utility grid are going up for individual users. And so, of course, it's hitting the poorest people. And so this is a problem, that is unresolved, that kind of shows the complexity, both philosophically and ethically, that the new transformations of clean energy are presenting. That in reality, the transformation to, for example, solar panels or any other form of clean energy, in fact, would need to happen collectively, and if everybody did it at the same time, or if there were like grouped plants of solar panels serving the entire society, it would be much simpler. But when this is based on individual people opting out of the grid, it's actually potentially leading to a social inequality for people who wouldn't be able to afford to pay for energy grid. And another example of this kind of problem is the fact that, of course, there are countries that do not have equal access to energy. They don't have utility grids, or they have dysfunctional utility grids. And basically, currently, there are companies like, in Turkey, there is a company called Car Power, and also Mitsubishi is undertaking this kind of attempts they use ships that are stationed on the sea and that are delivering power to countries that don't have utility grids, such as some countries in Indonesia, Sierra Leone, Ghana, and other places, and it's a completely uncontrolled process. It is essentially an example of extra statecraft, as it's been named by Keller Easterlink. So we're getting to this kind of situation that we are faced with a lot of complex situations, especially when cryptocurrencies are produced using green energy. And so when we are using wind turbines or solar panels to go straight from this to produce cryptocurrencies, we're dealing with a situation that interestingly gets closer to a perpetual motion machine or creation of free energy, although we know that it is impossible. And these are some of the questions I would like us to also explore during this conference, and I welcome you all very cordially. And now we're going to watch the contribution of Ersilia Vedova that will be played on the screen here.